and it was exhilarating because you get to step away from your day-to-day grind and the day-to-day issues that you deal with and take a 5,000, 10,000, and 20,000 foot look at not only your problem but the industry. And as much as we all want to every year sort of look at where things are going and where our brand is going or our industry, you just never have the time. You try to, but you don't get that moment where, or that week or 10 days, to really just stop, leave work behind, and talk about things strategically, a little more intellectually or academically, and take a chance on thinking stuff out or throwing out ideas where maybe when you're back at the office you don't want to because your bosses are there, or you've got 5 other things going on, you can't really devote the time to it, or just all the other things that show up on a given day at the office. So this gives us that 10-day period to just let it all hang out and see if we also at the same time can't walk away and have tactical solutions to problems, new ideas, new ways of looking at things, and a little bit more perspective on our business.
I think it's more about flexing your creative muscles than flexing your professional muscles. So you step away from work to actually use some creativity. And yeah, you have to use some degree of creativity in your day-to-day job in publishing, but the big picture creative stuff, I think we lose sight of when we get 150 emails a day and the phone is ringing and you have a report due and forecasting and redesigns, and you're not thinking about, you're not at the top of your creative game because you're so bogged down with day-to-day. So it's nice to step back, leave all that behind, and even if what you're discussing isn't totally relevant to your product, it's a refresher course in creativity. So I have a feeling that when we all get back, we'll be much better equipped to deal with it.
Everybody has the same problems. It's whether it's a different country or a different subject or a different category. At the end of the day, nobody has an earth-shattering challenge that you're going to give away state secrets to give an answer to. And so if for many times when you're dealing with the problem, it's right in front of you, or you even know about it, but hearing people give you the answers that you were already thinking about just reassures you that you're on the right track. And when you're giving the answers, it's not anything new or different or challenging. It's just you're giving fresh eyes to something that you haven't been dealing with day in and day out for months or years like they have.
What seems like a relatively simple problem to one person is very complex to another. And the beauty of that is that out of 150 people, or how many people are in the course, you're bound to get at least 4 or 5 good pieces of advice just by bringing up your problem. And I think it's kind of that, giving and taking. If you're willing to put your problem out there and someone's willing to give you advice, you have to do the same for them.
When you say redesign 6 times in the presentation of your case study, the problems become pretty clear pretty quickly, and I think eventually the answers got pretty blunt. But just as soon as I was hearing that, it became impossible to keep up with it. You put an advertiser hat on and you pretend like you're hearing that pitch, and your problems become pretty clear. Nobody
sugarcoats anything. That's when you're in an environment where you could potentially be with your competitors, you don't sugarcoat things. Someone flat out said, kill the magazine. You've redesigned it 6 times, kill the magazine. That's not something you expect to hear. This is a positive learning experience, but really, it's a workshop.
It was very, very reassuring that I wasn't going off in tangents, or I wasn't thinking about it incorrectly. I was actually thinking about it the right way. And then there were some surprise ideas too. So it was beneficial from both standpoints.
Last night we started talking about our problems, and my group is comprised of 8 people, 5 of whom are international. And the woman I sat next to is from the Ukraine. And her problem and my problem, exactly the same. So it was interesting to learn that what she's frustrated about around the globe, same thing I'm frustrated with. So that was surprising, I think, to find out that our problems are so similar. It used to be the creative agency that came up with the idea, and they just brought it to the publishing company and said, this is what we'd like to buy, period. And now I think they come to the publishing company for the idea and say, we need ideas to bring to our client. What can you do? And she said to me, I used to get the ideas from the agency, and now I give the ideas. And I said, I do the same thing. And she said, and I have to do it on a 12-hour turnaround. I said, so do we. We're pretty good at it, though, so.